Hi guys. For those that don't know me, I'm Michelle from Meditation Sunshine Coast. And today I just wanted to share a little bit of my story with you and the reasons why I'm so passionate about sharing the benefits of mindfulness and meditation. So the last few years have been a wild ride for me. I've worked in the events industry on and off for about 20 years. That was my first passion before mindfulness and meditation. And I've really got to say though, in the last few years, it stepped up another notch. I have been privileged enough to travel around Australia, New Zealand and Asia, organising and managing events for some pretty high profile speakers. Speakers like Patrick Lencioni, Simone Sinek, Brene Brown, Malala Yousafzai and Michelle and Barack Obama. Now, I wholeheartedly believe that I wouldn't have been able to work at the level I needed to for these events if I didn't have a meditation practice. And I'm not going to lie and say it was completely smooth sailing. I'm not going to say that I didn't get a little bit stressed at times, because I did. But I do believe that I was most of the time able to perform my job calmly, with clarity, with focus. Obviously, I have to have organisation skills to start off with to do a job like this, but I felt even that went to the next level because I just had that peace of mind every morning. I had that stability every morning. I had that time for myself every morning. And I was just able to process things a lot clearer and a lot more calmly. Now, this would have just been unimaginable a few years ago for me. Not just the calmness and the peace, but that job and that role and the life I've had in the last 3 years. I mean, I've been able to take my kids on cruises, I've been able to buy a new car, I've been able to save for a house, and that just seems so unrealistic to me when just a few short years was the moment when I hit rock bottom. I lost everything, pretty much. I was losing my home, and losing my home for me meant losing my business because I was operating my own kids' party business out of a shed on the property, and I was also operating, I just started teaching meditation classes from a little studio I converted as well. So I was faced with moving out just before Christmas. I had no money. I couldn't even pay the removalists or the cleaners. My parents had to. I was driving a car that spent more time at the mechanic than it did at home. I was suffering from chronic back pain and on some pretty major painkillers. I was nursing a broken heart, and I was looking after 2 small children. And even my doctor wanted to put me on antidepressants. And it was one night when I was sitting at my kitchen bench with a bottle of Jack Daniels in front of me, and I had drunk probably half of it and decided to start Googling how to gas yourself in your car. At that point, I was so ashamed at not being able to put a roof over my kids' heads that some logical part of my brain thought that they would actually be better off with the life insurance because at least then they'd be able to buy a home. But luckily, you can't do that in modern cars. And also I went to bed, probably passed out, woke up the next day, and I just felt this sense of hope. I let go of everything. I let go of the need to control everything in my life. I let go of the things that just weren't working anymore, that I just kept hanging on to out of habit. And I sold off as much as I could, gave away a whole bunch. I had to throw out a lot of things too. There was a few skip bins. And packed up and moved to my grandmother's house. And honestly, it's one of the best things I ever could have done, because without getting rid of all that, I never would have been able to make space for the opportunities that were about to come my way. I mean, I never would have known in a million years that this is what was coming. And I see now with so much clarity and clearness that it was the universe giving me the shove I needed. It was the universe clearing all that out. And I'm so grateful that I had been practicing mindfulness and meditation for a couple of years, because it did allow me to pause. It allowed me to make that space to think, okay, this is what I need to do moving forward, one day at a time, one step at a time. I had a little bit of a sense of peace and calm despite everything that was going on around me. And I never gave up hope and really learnt about letting go. Learnt about letting go of the control freak in me, the perfectionist in me, the wanting to be perfect at everything and good at everything as well. So, as my mum would say, I'm living proof that this shit works. And I am just so passionate about sharing with other people what I know about mindfulness and meditation and how it changed my life. You know, it's not just the peace and the calmness that it gives me every morning before I start my day. It's the clarity, it's the focus, it's the productivity, it's the creativity. Every meditation I've ever written was an idea that came to me while I was sitting in meditation. But it's also about self-awareness and self-acceptance, really getting to know who you are, accepting your own thoughts and emotions and feelings, which in turn creates a ripple effect. It enables us to be more compassionate, more empathetic to other people's thoughts and feelings. I believe it helps us connect on a deeper level. And all of these things are what the world needs right now. And who couldn't use a little peace and calm and connection and compassion at the moment? And we start with ourselves. Self-care is not selfish. If you don't look after yourself and learn these mental, physical, emotional well-being practices, you're not able then to give all of yourself to other people. And that's one of the biggest things I found as well. So that's a little bit about my journey, and I would love to help you with yours. So please post, email, let me know if there's any programs, classes that you would like to see up and running for next year. This is 2020, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know about that little virus. So I haven't been teaching face-to-face, but next year, hopefully we'll be back on board with more things. And a little note on COVID as well. I lost my events job on the 13th of March when our government had to shut down the events industry. And I did have a little bit of a cry. I had all of a sudden lost my identity, lost that income, lost that security. But after I had that little moment, I was like, okay, right, what can I do? What are the opportunities that are awaiting me now? And this is now what I'm able to do. I'm able to focus so much more of my time and energy and attention on bringing online courses, mindfulness meditation workshops, programs, classes, as well as programs in high schools and programs for teens in school camps, which is my big passion as well. Because I firmly believe if we can teach these life skills to children and teenagers, they will hopefully grow up to be perhaps a little bit more happier and healthier and well-adjusted than maybe our generation has been. And that will give us hope for a better future. Thanks, guys.